The Five's Jessica Tarlov has one of the hardest jobs in all of television. She has to defend the Bidens. She gets shut down by the rest of her crew here at this table of five people. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TenNapel. This is where the happy patriots are. We're going to show you this clip of them in kind of a mid discussion about, does Joe Biden have a movement? I mean, besides in his parents.
That President Trump is leading a movement and there is enthusiasm behind him. Does Biden have that?
Well, I think so. And I think that his electoral record reflects it. And Democrats have been overperforming expectations.
But a
movement? That's a no. The Democrats do not have a Biden movement. Who in the world is behind Joe Biden? We have Make America Great Again on the Trump side, but all Biden has is Brandon.
Well, so no, he doesn't have a special name, right? It's not MAGA for us.
He has a special name. It's Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe.
But it's Democrats and stronger together and moving forward and winning elections. And that's what the ultimate goal is. So yes, will Joe Biden be remembered in history in the same way as having started a movement? Probably not.
What Joe Biden's going to be remembered for in history is what many are calling the worst president. It used to be the worst president since Jimmy Carter, but now they're saying even Jimmy Carter is happy President Biden exists because now he's no longer the worst president in history.
Let's just get to the Trump versus Biden thing, because that's what's really going on here. It's rare to see two incumbents running against each other. Donald Trump's going to have to talk about his record, and he's going to have to talk about the 4 years after that and what he would have done differently. And Joe Biden obviously has his record to defend.
What possible record does Joe Biden have to defend? What did he do? He doesn't go out on the campaign trail. He does not go out and make public appearances. Just less than 2 this week. He's hiding. They cover up his economy. They cover up his southern border. They cover up his surrender in Afghanistan. They cover up the embassies that are being bombed. They cover the shipping lanes that are shutting down shipping. Trump's record is amazing to defend compared to Biden's, which they have to hide and lie about.
49% of the electorate here who didn't go for Donald Trump. A lot will, right? They'll back him up. But we know that Nikki Haley's voters, 43%, said they'll vote for Biden in a general election if it's Trump.
And that's why I don't rely on Nikki Haley votes. They're Democrats. Here's Trump. Basically, this is the first time he's announced this, but he's ruling Nikki Haley out as his vice president. This should shut up a lot of the the Democrats that are trying to vote in our caucuses, switching lanes in New Hampshire.
She is not presidential timber. Now, when I say that, that probably means that she's not going to be chosen as the vice president. You can go.
That's Donald Trump on Nikki Haley, or Hickey Naley, as we call her.
Probably 2 more appearances in as vice president. Trump's got a lot of things to spring on us now. A vice presidential pick, a convention that's going to be spectacular. Biden's got to create some moments. I think some of the Democrats are watching Biden and Harris bleed out and just focusing on 2028. Right now, it doesn't look good for them. Trump is dominating among independents. The New York Times claims he's getting more of the college-educated folks.
And meanwhile, while they're bleeding out, the Biden campaign cannot get workers to work for their re-election campaign.
You got more people now who aren't going to tell everybody they're voting for Trump, not because they're embarrassed, they're pretty proud, but because they don't want every night to feel like Thanksgiving with the in-laws.
They also don't want their woke employers, like in Hollywood, all my friends that are conservatives working in animation or video games, they hide. They don't want any of their coworkers to know that they're Trumpers. They have to whisper about it because suddenly you don't get the job promotion. You don't get the job, period. So you're allowed to go in and be a Democrat. And that's how people feel about their Trump vote. So even Trump is probably polling higher than it seems.
Biden voters as well.
They're not hidden.
Well, we don't run around necessarily with the flags and the paraphernalia, but we show up to vote.
Right now, America is split with about 40% going to Trump and about 40% going to Biden and about 20% of neithers. So what happens when the 20% of neither Joe Biden nor Trump have to go to the voting booth and vote for someone, either a Trump or a Biden? That's what will decide this election. We have to make sure our side is united and we bring as many people in as possible, but it's going to be that 20% of America that's undecided and doesn't necessarily like either candidate that will make a decision. I believe they will vote their pocketbooks, and that feeling of under Joe Biden, things got worse and America's falling apart, and they will cut to Trump. I'm Doug in exile.